up, YouTube? I'm back with another episode review of Attack on Titan, the final season. It was another good episode. Like I've said before, I don't think that there's been a bad episode of Attack on Titan in the whole series, so it was another good one. Obviously, there hasn't been that much action since they've been back in Paradis. The beginning of this season started with a lot of action, but these last few episodes were more about what has been happening the last 4 years, and then what's been happening in Paradis right now, with the Yaeger faction and the military faction, because there's been a conflict between two factions right now in these last few episodes, and I think it's been a great kind of story that we got, because it reminded me a little bit of what we got in the third season of Attack on Titan between the scouts and the government. The two factions had different ideals, different agendas, and I think they're kind of doing the same thing in this arc, and I think they've been doing a great job of doing so. We got to meet a character again. It was Hit. She looks a lot different than she did 4 years ago, but she also looks a lot better than she did 4 years ago. She got her glow up. She looks really good. I really like her character design. But anyway, man, she was in the basement where Annie was. I think that she's supposed to be guarding that basement, and that's the reason why she was there. Armin obviously was there too. I think he's been visiting Annie a lot these last few years, I think. So it's not surprising, but I think he tried to touch the crystal so that he could get some memories because, of the Titan power and the Elden's connection and everything like that. But yeah, man, I thought it was a pretty interesting discussion. I'm thinking that maybe during this arc, Armin will touch the crystal so that maybe he can get some memories about how to get Annie out of that shit. We already know that the Jaw Titan can destroy and crack this crystal, but I'm not sure that that's gonna happen, One of the biggest discussion in the last two episodes is the people's distrust in the government because of what they're doing to Eren. They imprisoned him after what he did in Marley, and they're not disclosing why they did that. They're not giving information to the people, and that's the reason why the people aren't trusting the government right now. And in this week's episode, we saw how the journalists, they're saying, how they don't really trust the military. They're calling out the military and what they're doing to Eren, and I think it's normal. I think that that's what people should do. That's what people should do in our world. They shouldn't just trust the government to do whatever they want. They have to call out the injustices or the things that they don't think is right, and that's what the people are doing. That's what we saw in this week's episode. They're not agreeing with what the government is doing right now, and they want to know what's going on. So I thought it was a really good part of the episode that I really liked, because it's something that has to be done in our world, because the people are what's important, not the government. We also learned a lot from Yelena in this week's episode. She said that at some point she met with Eren, and it seems like since then Eren has changed a lot, so the military and the scouts are thinking that maybe Yelena and Zeke are manipulating Eren, and that's the reason why that he went to Marley and then attacked Marley, because of what Zeke and Yelena have been telling him, so that's interesting, kind of theory that the scouts and the military has. And before we talk about this next subject, I just want to say that I kind of agree with the people of Paradis and why they're mad, because even Armin and Mikasa can't go and talk to Eren because the military won't let them, especially Premier Yaegarist. So there's a lot of going on behind the scene. There's a lot of agendas, and the people are right to be mad about it, so yeah. Now let's get to the nitty-gritty of the episode, because there was a terrorist attack in Attack on Titan, which is a first, but it was kind of predictable, because of everything that has happened in the last few episodes, between the people, the government, and Eren Yeager, so it was predictable to me, because there's some parties that have different agendas and they don't agree with it, so it was predictable to me. But it seems like some of the scouts defected from the scouts and then implanted the bomb in Premier Zachari's office, and because of that he died. He was the leader of the military, the scouts, and the garrisons, so he was big in this story. He was part of this coup d'etat in the third season of Attack on Titan, so he's a pretty big character kind of, and he just died because of a terrorist attack. So that was the biggest part of the episode to me, because at the same time as that terrorist attack happened, Eren escaped from the prison with other members of the scouts, so it was a crazy part of the episode. Mikasa and Armin were caught up in the explosion, but they are okay. But that was a crazy part of the episode, man. The explosion, Premier Zachary dying, and then all at once Eren and the scouts that was in prison escaped the prison, so it was a big ass scene. Some of the things that we learned is that Eren wants to find out where Zeke is, and then he wants to contact Zeke and Queen Historia, and we know that some of the things that they both have in common is that they both have royal blood. So it's going to be interesting if he'll be able to find out where they are, because right now Zeke is with Levi, and then Historia is somewhere where I don't think a lot of people know where she is, so it's going to be interesting, because right now there's two factions. There's the government, where the scouts, military, and garrison lies, and then there's the Eren faction that is called the anti-military insurgents Yaegarists. That's what Pixis called them, so right now we're going to call Eren's faction the Yaegarist, which is a pretty cool name. But yeah, man, I just think the development of this story has been really good, and it's been really well made, because it's something like that happens in our world. There's different factions that doesn't agree with each other, and then there's kind of a civil war, and it seems like that's what they were going for, in this week's episode, until Pixis kind of surrendered to the Yaegarists. That's what he told the military. He told that they should surrender to them, so that there wouldn't be bloodshed and war inside of the walls, because they have a lot of things to worry about. And one of the things that they don't have to worry about right now, that they don't get to worry about, is themselves, because right now they're going at war with the world. So I thought it was a pretty good decision by Pixis to surrender to the Yaegarists, because they have a lot of on their mind, on their plate right now. I really liked the end of the episode, because the military police and the scouts were kind of at odds, because the military police came to take the founder from Eren, and then the scouts, there was a lot of their troops that defected to the Yaegarists, so they're kind of at odds right now. I think even Premier Zachary knew about the military police plans to take the founder from Eren, so there's a lot going on right now between the government, which are fighting against each other at that point, and then the Yaegarists are doing what they're doing, and then there's the world that are going to attack Parody at some point, so they have to really talk to each other and resolve any problem that they have, so that they go against what they think is the evil, the world, and then resolve the problem with the Yaegarists. And that's why I really like Pixis, because he just came into the room and became the leader that we've seen since season 1, so it was just a great scene, I thought. Obviously he's the one that said to surrender to the Yaegarists so that they can resolve that problem, because their biggest problem is the world, not themselves, so it's going to be interesting. There was also a discussion between Mikasa, Armin, and Connie, because Connie thinks that Eren was part of that terrorist attack, and he's probably right, but Mikasa and Armin doesn't think so, so I really like the discussion that we got at the end of the episode and during the episode, but especially at the end of it. Anyhow, that was the last shot of the episode. It seems like it's Peak, the card titan. She's been able to infiltrate Parody Island like what Eren did in Marley. So it seems like maybe there's a lot more Marleyans in Parody, and that they're going to attack Parody at any moment right now, so it's gonna be great. But let me know what you thought about this week's episode in the comments down below. Let me know what you think is gonna happen next. I thought it was a great episode, and I think it's gonna get even better in the last few episodes that is left in, the final season of Attack on Titan. Obviously, I think that there's gonna be a part 2 of the season, but we'll see, But yeah, man, it was a great episode. I really liked it a lot. I do Attack on Titan, the final season reviews every Sunday, so subscribe for that. But I also do other anime related things like Black Clover reviews on Tuesdays, Jujutsu Kaisen reviews on Fridays, One Piece reviews on Saturdays usually, and Boruto Naruto Next Generation reviews on Sunday morning. So stay tuned for all of that. Like, comment, subscribe, it would help my channel a lot, and follow me at Anime Specialist on Twitter and Instagram, man. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Anime Specialist out. Peace.